So the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza is barely holding together. In the last few days, Hamas launched a new attack on Israeli positions in Rafah, which is an area meant to be under Israeli control according to the peace deal. Now, one Israeli reservist was killed in those attacks, prompting an immediate response from Israel that reportedly killed more than 30 people in Gaza. Additionally, drone footage released by Israel appears to show Hamas delaying the return of hostage remains by reburying bodies to falsely present them as newly found. This is a stalling tactic by them, and it is impacting one of the first and probably the most key stages of the peace plan, as it appears aimed at slowing the next phase, which would require Hamas to begin disarming. However, Hamas may be attempting to buy time before having to give up their weapons, not because they want to fight Israel, but they're trying to eliminate rival factions within Gaza before they lose those weapons and the leverage that keeps their control intact, all while they're consolidating power by deploying thousands of armed police. Now, Hamas claims it cannot return the bodies of these hostages due to technical issues, all while continuing actions that directly undermine the peace talks, such as these attacks. Now, the situation has reached a standstill, with progress depending on whether an international stabilization force and a new peace administration can take shape. Yet countries expected to contribute the bulk of the troops, such as Egypt, Jordan, or Saudi Arabia, are really quite hesitant here. They fear being drawn into direct confrontation with Hamas, or worse, being viewed by their own populations and citizens that they are actually siding with Israel in this fight. Now, this looks a whole lot like the US quagmire in Afghanistan, where the United States and NATO tried to rebuild a nation that was really never truly the US's to rebuild. 20 years, $2 trillion, and 130,000 troops later, Afghanistan collapsed within days of the U.S. withdrawal. Now, the danger here is that Gaza may become a repeat of that failure, where a foreign peacekeeping mission is in place and the outside forces here lack the legitimacy, the local buy-in, and the long-term commitment to present a viable solution. But there is a solution that is better, but still not perfect. Instead of an international army, peace may need to grow from within Palestine. Have a Palestinian-led security force drawn from Gaza itself, possibly backed by the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank, to counter Hamas. And this actually brings about both legitimacy and motivation that any kind of foreign troops, even if they're from Egypt or Jordan, never will. International partners like the United States and the European Union could train and fund the Palestinian Authority, while Israel could share intelligence to help them defeat Hamas, who is the greater problem. The mission would be to empower Palestinians to confront Hamas directly, as many Palestinians weren't big fans of Hamas anyway. They just took over. And this would mean that they are defending themselves, not the interests of Israel or any kind of Western country like the US. Now, this approach obviously is quite risky, and once again requires guarantees that some may not approve of, including providing real protections for the Palestinian Authority, helping them with their pay, and providing opportunities for those to stand against Hamas. But if the Gazans can take ownership of their own security and governance, supported by, but not dominated by, outside powers, there could finally be a foundation for peace, as the Palestinian Authority is less militant. Now, without that, though, Gaza risks becoming another Afghanistan, an endless cycle of intervention, collapse, war, responses, and ultimately terrorism. All of this rests upon the potential support of a more moderate faction within Gaza. Not saying the Palestinian Authority is all roses here, but they certainly are better than Hamas.